Okay, Samuel, my goodness. We're taking a total guess. I'm saying it's 4 years that we've known each other.
Yes. Yes.
You're just going to agree.
Yes. I think so.
It is.
We met at the Freedom March.
We did. And it was, I'm thinking it might have been in one of the Florida ones, maybe Orlando.
Which, by the way, those Freedom Marches were so incredible for me. I remember the first one that I went to. I'm forgetting her name, but she gave an incredible testimony. It was such a long time ago of just like her story of like abuse and like everyone's story that just shared that day. And I felt like for the first time surrounded by people who like understood where I was coming from and my background. And that was so needed because for a long time, I felt like in the churches, like they don't understand and they don't get it.
Yeah.
And our voices are being like hidden or like neglected or not cared enough for. And that was like such an incredible thing to experience.
Because that was your first time like being around people that were quote unquote like you.
Yeah.
Like in the sense of like, oh my gosh, this is like
they
my
have same-sex
story.
attraction or they have overcome that in their ways. You know, my whole Christian journey, I've been in Miami just like by myself. Like everything I've experienced with the Lord has been like just me and the Lord mostly until like later on. But, you know, having those stories of people around me, I was like amazed. I was like, this is incredible stuff. And hearing your story too, and MJ's story and Joshua's story and Angel and like, I was blown away. Yeah, like, I was blown away.
It's cool. It's cool that you brought that up because I remember the first time I went out and met them. It was the very first Freedom March, and I remember thinking the same thing. Like, whoa, God, you're telling me I'm not alone? Yeah. Like, I literally thought I was like one of the only people. Yeah. Like, not to be like arrogant because it actually wasn't a good thing at that time at all. Like, it was like
there were no voices. No, like it was just Christopher Wan, Jackie Hill Perry, and Joe Dallas.
See, and for me, Jackie Hill she wasn't even around. That wasn't even a name yet.
Wow.
Yeah. So almost 10 years ago. Yeah. Maybe her life had, but I don't think her book was out. And so when I met a group of people and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not alone. Yeah. Like, God, I don't have to walk this journey alone. I mean, let me tell you, if you do this without God, good luck. Right. Yeah. But so you can't just have community, like having the Lord, but then having community and having people around you. And so I'm just glad you brought that up because I felt the exact same way. I'm like, wait a minute. And that's honestly, Samuel, that is why I said yes to even doing what we're doing right now. Yeah. Because I think there's too many people in the world that have similar stories like you, like me, like all the people that I get to call friends, but actually have on that they just, people out there in the world are like, wait, dude, I get, like, this guy gets it. This girl gets it. Like, I'm not alone. And so there's a lot of narratives. We won't get into all those, but there's a lot of narratives in the world. And so I think it's just so important. We're so blessed in a country that we have freedom of speech. Like, people
and we want to use it while we have it.
And while we have it. And guess what? People get to share their stories. And I don't want to hush them. Yeah. And I just don't think we should be like hushing each other. I don't even know if that's a word, but like, and so that's what this is. This is like basically what you encountered when you showed up at Freedom March is what I could see God doing with this. Is just like, hey, here's his story. Here's Samuel. And so, I know you, right? I know your story, but it's always kind of, I don't know, it's kind of exciting and fun for me and also heart-wrenching in many ways because there's pieces of my friends' lives that I didn't maybe know about. And so I just want to use this time, Samuel, to let you just share whatever that might be, like just kind of your journey. If you want to start when you were younger of just what it is, or you're like, hey, actually I want to go here. I want to tell the biggest parts of the struggle and then go back, whatever you want, just like the freedom to just kind of share who Samuel is and maybe a lot of who we are sometimes where we've been.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've been sharing my story now for 7 years. And I am surprised that, like, it doesn't get old. Right. Like, I'm like, I think I'm going to have to do this for, like, forever. Yeah. Like, it's never going to stop, Yeah. But it is, like, it's my life. It's what I experienced. It's how I came to know Jesus, and I'm happy to do it, I always tell people, though, like, if you want the details, you want it all, like, go to my YouTube channel. Right. I've got a whole video up there that it went viral. That's how I started my whole online ministry. And I try to find, like, compelling ways to, like, share it in new ways and share it in ways that, like, I remember it because I changed as a person, too. Yeah. Like, I remember different things. But yeah, I mean, it started off like when I was younger and as a baby, like as a child, I knew I was like really different from like people around me, like especially like other boys. Okay. I liked playing with Barbies. I liked, romantic things. Like I was obsessed with the movie Titanic. And
I wasn't. So I knew I was different too. So.
You're like...
Yeah, you were sitting there soaking it up.
Like, where's the G.I. Joe?
Exactly. I had two brothers.
And I'm like, where's my Barbie?
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew that there was something going on, but I was also raised in a very Christian household. So both my parents, they would go to church from Monday through Friday, literally, and then Sunday. And growing up in that environment, it was awesome, you know, like, but there was also takeaways from that. Like we were never allowed to watch Barney. We didn't watch Disney Channel, and like there was movies that we couldn't watch and different things like that, like me, my brother and sister. And
so it felt very like restrictive.
It was restrictive, yeah. And it was only like we could, because everything was demonic. You know, it was like, oh, that's demonic. And we grew up in a Pentecostal church. Okay. So I got to experience a little bit of like that charismatic Pentecostalism. But it also like, I feel like paid off later on in my life. Like there was these awesome cartoons I used to watch called animated stories of the Bible, animated New Testament stories of the Bible, something like that. And it was so awesome. And they had ones for the Old Testaments as well. And like there was one that was from Samuel. And the book of Samuel. Yeah. And I like related so deeply to like Hannah and the story of Samuel going into like basically like being abandoned by his mother, like into ministry and into temple like responsibilities. And just, you know, the beautiful rewards that came from that. But as I grew up, I started to realize more and more just how different like I was.
Okay. And did you have older brother, older sister? What was
that? Older brother, older sister.
Okay. So you were the youngest.
I'm the youngest. Yeah. Okay. The youngest. And then also growing up in Miami, you know, like I am first generation American. So my parents, they traveled from Cuba to Venezuela, from Venezuela onto Florida.
Wow.
And there was a lot of like, you know, that machismo culture in Florida and my parents as well. So these things that I liked, you know, like I would see my sister's dresses and I would be like, oh my gosh, like I love that dress. I love colors. Like why is my clothes so boring and like gray and like all I wanted to do
is from a young age.
From a young age. No one taught me. Like, remember, I was very restricted.
Yeah.
So,
So you weren't picking this up from, like, society.
No, I wasn't.
Like TV. Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Like, it just came naturally to me. Like, I loved colors. I loved creativity. I was singing everywhere. Like, I was very different from my brother and sister. They had black hair and brown eyes. And I had, like, basically blonde hair and, like, green eyes. Yeah. So I was, like, the black sheep of the family. Yeah. Like, they're like, where did this kid come from? Yeah. Like, he's so different from everyone. But I knew that God, like, at a very young age, like, he wanted to do something special with me. And I also, like, had a very special relationship with God in the midst of that as well. Like, my brother and my sister, they didn't really connect to the Lord the way that I did. Okay. Like, we would jump into the car and I'd be like, oh, you can't sit there because Jesus is sitting there. And I was very aware of his presence. And to the point where I remember we were going to church, like a little Pentecostal church, or I think at the time it was Baptist. Okay. We get into Pentecostal later. Okay. And I remember my mom was like, my son wants to be baptized to the pastor. And he's like, he can't. He's a child. Like, he can't be baptized. He doesn't know what that is. And then my mom was like, tell him. Yeah. Tell him.
You tell him.
You tell him, yeah. And I fully told him everything about baptism as a child. Like, I don't even remember.
How old do you think you were?
I don't know, maybe like 6 or 7.
Wow.
It was crazy. Like, and he's like,
you were the quote unquote age of reason.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I think they did the baptism.
Wow.
And he's like, all right, he understands. Yeah.
He gets it.
So I had a very, very special relationship with God. I always had faith that he was there, and it was like, you know, a good relationship. But the more and more I went to church, the more I started to realize I don't fit the mold. And these things that I seem to like is not appropriate for all the people that are around me. And then, of course, the sermons would come up of people who were gay. And the pastors would say, you know, this is a sin. And, you know, if you act a certain way, this is a sin. And we already thought that everything was, you know, demonic. And
right. Yeah.
So my parents were doing their best, you know, as immigrants, and obviously never being in the position having to deal with any of this. Like, their parents were not that good parents either. My family comes from a lineage of like basically like people who can't even read or write. They're illiterate, like from the forest in Cuba. So they did their best.
Yeah.
And they did a great job, especially my mom. And but I just couldn't fit into the mold of church. And I tried really hard to start hiding those parts of myself. And so, like, because every time I would, go try on my sister's dress, or I had this hat that was like a ski hat.
Okay.
You know, some of those ski hats have like long, like like decoration.
It's like your hair.
Yeah, and then I would flip it, and then I'd be like, "Wow, I love this hair." And my mom burned that hat. One day I was like, "Where's my hat?" And she's like, "I don't know." And she went and burned it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So,
because she was scared.
Yeah. So hold on.
She's like, he's gonna want to be a girl.
Yeah. So you're having this now at that age, whenever this is
like 8, 9, around there. Yeah.
Were you attracted to men, or were you just feeling like, I'm just really drawn to this like bright female type clothing? I mean, were you experiencing any attractions per se at that time?
Yeah, I was really curious about men in general. I feel like I understood women and I got women. And I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I spent a lot of time with my grandma, with my sister, with my mom. Also, my brother was there, but like my brother was like a weird personality.
Okay.
And we shared a room and stuff, and he was so different from me. He was so messy, and like I just like could not relate to him.
Okay.
And all of my cousins are girls. Like we only have one other boy, and like all of them are girls. So very girl family.
Yeah.
And
was your dad pretty present? Like, where was
my dad? That's a great thing to bring up. He was working at a trucking company.
Okay.
And he wouldn't really be around much. He would only just come at night, and he tried not to do like overnight, like long distance trips. So I mostly spent a lot of time growing up like with my grandma. Okay. And my mom was in the midst of trying to build a better future for us. Okay. So she was going to school to get her degree in a medical, a medical degree. Which is really hard. I mean, I love my mom. She's such a hard worker. Like, she didn't even know English, and she was recording her classes and translating it later. Because, you know, back then, there was no Google.
No. Yeah. AI wasn't around.
And she was top of her class. Like, incredibly smart. Like, imagine. Doesn't even know English. And so I spent a lot of time with my grandma. But there was a curiosity when it came to men. Like, I remember there was boys in the church that we were going to. And there was one boy in particular that I was like enamored with. Like, I would love to be around him. I would love to like hugs from him. I wanted to sit next to him. I wanted to talk to him. It was a lot of that, like just curiosity, not necessarily sexual. I did have a dream one time when I was younger. That was like a sexual dream, but it's like you're a kid, so you don't even realize it. But it wasn't until later. It wasn't until I got to middle school that I started to realize like, oh, I think I like guys, you know? And that was a whole, journey of itself. Like going through elementary school, being bullied as a kid, like I experienced so much bullying to the point that like my mom had to like figure out ways so that I can make friends because that macho culture in Florida is like, it's rough. A joke. I'm glad. Like, that's why sometimes I have a lot of empathy, especially with like what we do, or we try to bridge the gap with LGBTQ to Christians. I have a lot of empathy with LGBTQ that are like, I don't want to know about that. Yeah. I don't want to think about that, because if they treated me this way when I was younger, I can't imagine the ways and the experiences that they've had, you know? Yeah. Some people have been literally abused sexually. Yeah. Some people have been physically, like there was violent crimes against them. Yeah. I just leave that to God. I'm like, I can't change your mind, but I'm here to love on you, and I'm here to empathize with you and have compassion.
Because you went through it in your own way.
Exactly.
And people have experienced way worse And that's not to minimize our experiences, but
no, seriously though, like thankfully, like I think I only got into like 2 fights at school where I had to defend myself. My dad was like, defend yourself. Like he was teaching me how to fight, but you know, like I'm not like like a macho guy, you know. I didn't want to fight. I'm like a lover, not a fighter. And so throughout that whole journey, I remember I got to middle school, and I thought that the best way possible to get people off of my back, because they would always ask like, "Are you gay?" Horrible questions, and put me on the spot, and I was still dealing with that myself, questioning all that, like my relationship with God and like where that fits into place, and I just inwardly kept it all. Yeah. And I remember that I had gotten to middle school and I had a best friend at the time. And it was the first time I ever had a friend that was a guy. And he was the first ever guy to ever show any type of like interest in me whatsoever.
Just even as a friend.
Just even as a friend, yeah. Like most guys would not want to talk to me. They didn't want to be around me. Like they thought I was weird. And I always had friends that were girls. Yeah. Always girls. But then this guy came out of nowhere, and he like showed me affection and care. Like he would text me every day. Like that was around the time where I got my first phone. And I became like obsessed with this dude, like enamored, infatuated with this guy. And I didn't know what I was experiencing at the time. Like I was like, what is happening to me? Like I get like butterflies in my stomach when he texts me, and like I feel like loved and excited, and I had all these emotions that I didn't understand. And at that time I was like, I had many girlfriends, but they were like fake girlfriends. I strategically,
like best friends.
No, like I strategically, yes and no. Okay. Like I was like, I know that these girls are around and that they like me, and I was a cute kid.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
still are.
Yeah, thank you. And I look like a little Disney kid. Like I had like little Disney features, and not anymore. Now I have like a full man.
Yeah, you're a man face.
Yeah, it really grew out. Yeah. I had like an awkward stage in middle school. But I noticed that like these girls want to be in a relationship, and they think I'm cute. Like I should just be like boyfriend girlfriend with them, and that way everyone will stop asking me about it. Yeah. And so I would just like force myself into the relationship, and then just like kiss them and everything, and like I didn't feel anything. Yeah, like nothing. Like I was like trying to feel something. I remember there was this girl. We had band together. Like I was part of like a band. I played a baritone.
Okay.
And I remember we were in the back of the school bus, and she like, I could tell she wanted to kiss me, and I was so nervous, and I really didn't want to kiss her, but I couldn't not kiss her because she's my girlfriend. So I was like,
how old were you?
I think I don't know. This was like 6th grade, 7th grade.
Okay.
And my hands were all clammy and sweaty, and I was like, I have to kiss her.
Oh no.
And so we kissed on the bus, and I was like, I felt nothing. Like I don't like. Yeah. To me, it was nothing. It was like I kissed this wall. Yeah. You know, nothing against her. Like she was beautiful. She was actually the head cheerleader. She was blonde, beautiful. Yeah. But yeah, I think that was my way of just like making sure that no one would know what was going on inside. Yeah. And I also treated these girls like very like nicely, and
I was gonna say you're probably a gentleman to them, and like
like I wasn't.
Them,
no. They were my best friends. Yeah. So like we had good friendships all around. Like the girls that I dated it was from being friends. Yeah. And then when they realized there wasn't nothing going on there, they just moved on to someone else.
Yeah, yeah.
But
stayed friends. So you
we
friends
stayed
with
friends.
them.
Yeah.
So you meet this guy, and now it's like now you're getting butterflies. Now
I'm feeling all of that, and I'm like, now I know what everyone's been huffing and puffing about. Okay. Like I understand now. And there was within that relationship, that friendship was really weird. I still to this day, I feel like I had to unpack that. Yeah. Because it wasn't anything crazy strange, but I feel like this guy maybe was confused about his sexuality, or maybe was looking for attention, or maybe didn't grow up in a home with a lot of affection. Yeah. And so he was kind of grasping at anywhere he could get it. And then me thinking that he was feeling what I was feeling, and like maybe that wasn't the case. Yeah.
So it's kind of confusing.
It was very confusing. Yeah. And during that time, there was like, in middle school, like kids were doing drugs, and so which is really concerning because now I look at middle schoolers, I'm like, I'm like, you're doing drugs. I'm sure they're doing worse now.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't do that. I never did. I never was into drugs or anything like that. But he was, and I remember one night he called me. He basically said he had done, I don't know, mushrooms or something. Okay. And he's like, I want you to tell me that you love me. And it was like out of the blue. And I was like, this is like my dream come true. Like he's finally confessing that he likes me. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I love you. I want to be with you. And he's like, tell me louder, like I want to hear it from you. Oh, no. Like, and I was like, I'm like, my parents are in the next room. I was like, I love you. Oh. And then,
oh no.
And then I remember when we got off the phone that night, I still to this day, I've never experienced this. I think the closest that I've experienced this has been like in God's presence. I literally felt like I floated to my bed. Like I felt like I got shot up with drugs. Like if I ever do drugs, I'm assuming it feels like that.
It feels like that.
Like it was
ecstasy feeling.
Ecstasy.
Like yeah.
High dopamine. Like never in my life have I felt that. I just like floated to my bed and laid there, and I was like, he loves me. And and then I'm like I'm so dumb. But
but it's real though too. I mean, clearly your heart was longing for love.
Absolutely. That was something that I was always searching. Yeah. When I looked at the reason I brought up Titanic was when I saw that movie, I remember thinking to myself, I want someone to love me the way that Jack loved Rose. And I remember thinking like, I want that. Like, I want that. Like, wow. Like, he loved her so much. He sacrificed his life for her. And I was like, that's love, man. And I believed that. I'm like, maybe I can have that in my life. But I just didn't have the attractions for the women. Yeah. So I was like, okay, like that's what I was chasing. I was chasing my Prince Charming. I was chasing my happily ever after. Yeah. I thought it was possible, you know, and I was going for it. So the next day, I remember I went to school and we had like this inside joke of like Super Mario and stuff. And I had made him a binder with some images and, you know, like little kid stuff. And I went up to him and I told him, like, I gave him the gift and I was like, I love you, like, ready to be with you. Oh. And like in the hallway. And he was like
publicly now.
Publicly,
I mean, yeah.
Yes, that was a mistake.
Oh gosh, no, yeah.
He pushed me in front of everyone to the ground and he's like, I ain't gay. I was messed up. I started crying. I was like humiliated, like he did it in front of everyone. And I was like, why would you do that? Like, I don't understand. Like, why? What was I couldn't comprehend that as a child. And I remember I also I grew up very innocently. Yeah. And I didn't have those like experiences that most people had or were going through. I never seen the dirty part of the world. Yeah. Like my parents had kept that away from me. And to some extent that was good, but some of it was bad because I was in for a rude awakening when all this stuff started to happen. So I remember
this is still middle school.
This is all middle school, yeah. This is around like 7th grade, I think. Oh. And I remember my friend at the time, she was bisexual. And I remember going up to her and talking to her about all this stuff that was happening. And she's like, you know, if you tell your parents, I'll tell my parents about my bisexuality and you can tell them about me being gay. And I was like, that was like my worst fear. Like I was not scared of anything more than that. I was terrified. Yeah. Of what they might think of me. Because I had heard stories of people who had just been kicked out of their homes. Yeah. Who had been completely abandoned, you know? And my dad was a rough guy. Yeah. He was a sensitive guy, but a rough guy, you know? And I was very scared. So I got home and, you know, I was going to take seriously that little pact that me and her did. I remember going up to my mom and I was like, I just got to do it. Like, I just got to say it, you know? And so I told my mom, like, I have to talk to you. Like, it just came out. And I was like, once that came out, I was like, there's no going back.
I can't,
Yeah. And so we sat in my bedroom together and I said, Mom, like, I just want you to know, like, you know, you remember how you told me that you love me no matter what? And she said, yeah, I remember that. And I said, well, I'm gay. And do you still love me? And she's like, of course I love you. I care about you. But also, like, I don't want you to live a life that is contrary to what God has for you. And I want you to go to heaven. I don't want you to go to hell. And she was like very frank, you know, she was like, there's only two ways that we can go about this. Like, you can either live your life and like, I love you and care about you, but you know, there's going to be consequences to that. Or we can try to figure this out together and see I can get you help. Yeah. I can get you help. You know, we can hit up ministries, see what we can do to like help combat this, this feeling, this attractions. Yeah. And I said, obviously at the time, like, I don't want to go to hell. Yeah. Like, and that's all I knew about God. It was like, at that point, I was like, you either do the right thing, you go to heaven, or you do the wrong thing, you go to hell. Yeah. God doesn't care. Yeah.
Even though you had this like childhood, Jesus is with me, but you didn't know him.
Yeah, I only knew the stories and then the very basic sermons. And I also skipped over a little bit of a part that the church that we were going to when I was a child, there was a big scandal that happened where the lead pastor ended up being gay. And he had a whole family. And he was cheating on his wife. And they actually caught him in the car with a 17-year-old boy. Oh, no. And it was all over the news. And that was my parents, like, that was the heartbreak of their life. You know, all of their friends were in that church. It was a small local church, you know. And they got discipled there. And it broke my dad's trust completely.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I don't think he's trusted a pastor since then. I don't know how he's recovered, you know, but it was never the same after that. And so already in our family, we had that, like, this is something that destroyed our church. This is something that destroyed trust in us. Yeah. And this is no good, you know? And so I knew that. Yeah. And going through that too was heavy.
Oh, yeah.
Even though that happened like when I was really, really little.
But still.
I remember seeing my pastor on the TV and being like, Mom, why is the pastor on the TV? Yeah. Like, and my mom's just like a mess. But yeah, so my mom actually started looking into different ministries to see if I could get help.
Okay.
And I didn't do anything. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm
gay.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, I finally said it. Like, and then my dad's reaction was something completely different. Like, he didn't have the best reaction. He says to this day he doesn't remember doing this. But I remember I got in the car with him and he's like, if you want to be gay, but don't talk to me about it. And don't talk to my family about it and leave that up to yourself. I don't want to know. And I was really hurt by that. You know, I was like, my mom was completely different. She wanted to know everything.
Yeah.
Like a over-involved mom.
Yeah. Totally.
Distant dad, typical story.
Yeah.
And so my mom started to look into Exodus International at the time.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And so she was like, these people can help you. They were in the midst of all of the scandal and all that stuff. And I believe they had switched leadership and it was their third or second last thing that they did in the ministry. And I remember she's like, I want to send you over. By this time I was already in high school. And me and that guy who I was friends with, like, it was so traumatic with me. We stopped being friends.
Never talked.
We didn't talk anymore. And I had to switch schools because everybody knew about me and they were all making fun of me and like they were not accepting. So my brother and my sister went to one school and I had to go to a entirely different school. That was like a technical school. And there I could like start over fresh. Yeah. And people there were a little bit more understanding, but not really. And so my mom seeks out Exodus help and she's like, I'm going to send you over to, I think it was West Virginia. I don't know. And it was like a week-long conference or something, or like 3 days. I can't remember. And I went. And
you were in high school at the time.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school. Wow. And I was the youngest person in that conference. Like, I did not want to go, but my mom forced me to go. Like, she was like, if you don't go, I'm going to take away your like Xbox and all this stuff. And I was like I wanted to like please them. So I was like, okay, I'll just do this. But like, I'm happy now. I'm gay and I want to.
Were you in a relationship or anything or just
no?
Okay.
No, I never had luck with men.
Okay. Thank God, kind of, but yeah.
I think looking back, I think God was protecting me from a lot, definitely. Yeah. I was very clingy and I had issues of my own. But when I got to Exodus, I remember it was really strange. Everything about it was really strange. It wasn't about God as much as it was about like behavior. And so they got us together and they were like, you have to play football. And we all played football together. And
like all the guys?
Yeah, all the guys. No girls.
No girls.
No girls.
Girls couldn't play football.
Girls can't play football.
Oh, okay.
And then they would take us on hikes to like bond with the other guys. And the guys that were there were really strange. Like I was like, as a child, I was like,
this is weird.
You know, but everyone was really nice. You know, it was really nice. Good. And didn't have a bad experience. You know, I'm sure.
It was just weird.
It was just weird.
Okay.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't see God in this.
Okay.
And but there was one guy, and his name was Ricky Chalet.
Oh.
And I remember he gave a teaching, and I was really impacted by his teaching. And he talked about how men develop same-sex attraction and how development even happens and how heterosexual attractions develop. And he kind of laid it all. He did this diagram on a board, and he said, he's like, there's two types of guys. There's like a rough and tough guy and a sweet and sensitive dude. And then the sweet and sensitive dude, he read my whole life before me. Like everything he put on that diagram, he did not know me. Like I was like, that's my profile. Like that, like if you looked at my life, that's my life. Like how did you, so that struck me like as truth. Like I was like, this guy doesn't know me. And yet he was able to tell me everything about me. And so I was like, maybe there's some truth here that I'm like, maybe it's not what the TV is saying and what everyone around is saying, which you're just born this way. Yeah. And these things just happen and don't question it and just give into it. Like I was like, there's some truth here. And so I really appreciated him. And I think maybe I got to like talk to him a little bit at the end and he gave me a book or something. I don't remember too much.
Yeah.
But went back home. And from that experience, and my mom was like, so how was it? You know, she was expecting like things were going to be like good.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I still want to be gay. Like,
yeah,
I don't want
work.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it wasn't like conversion therapy, you know?
Yeah.
So, so then I continued on through high school. My mom was fighting. She was fighting for her life. She's like trying to control every aspect. So she's like, she realized that I was hanging out. Like I started doing theater. God forbid, theater. And she's like, I got to get him out of this school. so she's like, do you want to be homeschooled? And I was like, homeschool? Like, that sounds fun. Like, I can do whatever I want and like not have teachers. And I was like, yeah, I'm about that life. Like, so I was also bullied a lot still. So I was like, I'd rather do that, you know? I'd rather not go to school. And I thought I'll be able to like take my friends from school. Still have my friends. When I became homeschooled, all of my friends abandoned me. No one ever talked to me anymore. No one responded to my text messages. And I was at home alone all of the time. And I became addicted to just like virtual worlds and playing online. And during that time, actually looking back, the Lord used all of it, because I became a nerd and I found out how to do videos and how to do Photoshop and like how to code and how to do all these things that I never knew before because I was just always by myself. But it was really bad for me. Like I developed severe anxiety. I've always been a person like, you know, happy-go-lucky, like speaking, talking, like charismatic in that way. All of that was gone. That was stripped from me because I spent so much time isolated that I didn't know how to even speak anymore in public settings. And I like wore this one sweater that was black and I would wear it everywhere. And I would never it was like a safe thing for me. It was like, so my whole personality shifted and transformed during that time. And I became like a recluse. And so that's a word, right?
Yeah, it is. Okay. I don't know. I knew what you meant. So yeah.
Okay. Reclusive. Yeah. So I was on the virtual worlds doing all that stuff. And then during that time, my mom was like, he's not healthy. Like, this is not good. Like, we need to change this because now he's gone in a whole nother direction. Yeah. And then she found this homeschool teacher that she was like doing the paperwork for homeschool. But I came over to her house and she liked me so much. She had a daughter and a son that were also homeschooled.
Oh, okay.
She's like, why don't you just like, my mom was like, can you like help this child?
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, why don't you just like come and spend the days with us? And like, you know, like my daughter and my son will be your friends. And I thank God for her. Like she's an incredible part of my life that I was like, without her, I don't know how I would have been able to like rehabilitate from that anxiety and all this stuff. Like I remember I would show up to her house and I would just like sit in the couch and I didn't even know like what to say, what to do. Like I was so in my head and it was really bad. But she taught me to be more confident and you know, she is a Christian, but not like, you know,
overtly in your face.
Yeah. Like, and she was like, you know, if you're gay, be gay, girl. Like, you know, like do what you want. And so she was like that. Okay. And I think I kind of needed that. You know, I needed that like confidence boost again. So I spent time doing that. And then she also told me like, you're so good at theater, you know, you should continue that and do that. And so I ended up doing a dual enrollment program and going into college and doing theater in college. And then I auditioned to go to this school that was a conservatory school that almost like is like the Juilliard of Miami. And I ended up auditioning and apparently I was very good and they accepted me out of like 300 people. Wow. And I had no previous training or anything. But you know, I always loved sing. I always loved to like do acting and all that stuff. I've always been creative.
Natural.
It is natural to me. So then I did that for about 2 years. And during that time, like I was like, yes, I'm finally going to go into like theater school. Like everyone's going to be gay there. Yeah. I'm going to find my
fit
people.
Right in.
I was the only gay kid in my whole class.
Oh my gosh.
There was one other kid and I was not attracted to him at all.
Thank God.
So I thought like, I was like, oh, they're going to gay people everywhere. Yeah. There was no one, even like the seniors above me, they were all straight, supposedly. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. And so I was like completely alone again. Oh, and I was like, oh my, like I'm just always surrounded by like heterosexuals like everywhere I go.
Wow.
And so I didn't really have that like experience there that I thought I was going to get. And then after doing that for 2 years and like kind of like really getting like very liberal. Like those professors, they taught us things that like I was never exposed to. I remember that was around the time that gay marriage, the law was passed. Obama was president, and a lot of things were changing, and things were becoming a lot more accepted. Okay. And I think people who like watch this or maybe are younger, like I don't think they realize like just how bad things were like before the acceptance. like, this was not something you talked about. This was something you hid from.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you know, you're
a lot of shame.
like,
I'm
much older.
Yeah. Hey, much older. I got 10 years on you, bro. But yes.
You've got much more wisdom.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take that one.
But even just that difference, because a 2-year difference, a 5-year difference, and a 10-year difference is completely different.
Yeah, a decade.
So I can't imagine what you went through. Because what I had to go through, that was a little bit more accepted. Right. And then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
But got a lot of training and a lot of like confidence, started to like really understand me. And that was around the time that I lost my virginity as well. And I remember I met up with a guy.
So you were only 16 at the time.
I was 17 when I started the college.
Okay.
And I turned 18. When I turned 18, I met a guy on Scruff, I think it was, like another gay app. And, you know, he was, once again, like, I was very naive. And he was like, you're amazing. I love you. Like the first date.
How old do you think he was?
He was like around my age, like 19.
Okay.
19, 20.
Okay.
And I like fell for it. So still very naive. And I was like, oh, you know, the first time we met, like I took him around my school. We had like a really long date. And I remember him telling me, he's like, at the end of it, he was like, oh, do you want to like, you know, do stuff? And I was like, oh, I don't know. I've been saving myself for like a long time. And like, I was like, I want to.
Yeah.
Because I barely just kissed people. That's all I've done at this point. And I was just like, well, just tell me, because I had a family member who had a really bad experience losing their virginity. And the person left afterward. And I saw that. And I was like, I saw that trauma in their life. Yeah. And I remember telling him, like, are you going to leave me, like, after this? You know, like, or, like, do you genuinely like me? Wow. You know? Oh. And he was like, no, I like you. I like you. Oh. And so, like, we had sex. It was not what I thought it was going to be. No. And then I think maybe 2 days after that, like, I had invited him to go to, like, our little college prom that we were doing. And he started acting really weird and strange and started to distance himself. And then I got really sick, which I thought was judgment from God. Oh. Like, I was like, I got, tonsillitis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I guess.
So you thought you were being punished?
Yeah, for sure. I was like, this is God's punishment. Like, I had a 104-degree fever.
Oh, jeez.
And then on top of that, he actually slept with my best friend when I was sick. Like, not even 3 days after that, who I had confided in my friend about all of the stuff in the relationship and the distance and all that stuff. I think it was like a week or 3 days. I don't remember the timeline.
With another guy?
Yeah, with another guy. He was like one of the dancers in the school. And then I found out because he told me. And I was heartbroken and devastated. And I was like, he didn't. I begged him to come back into my life. He didn't even want to come back. And I had like no self-respect or like self-esteem. Like I've always been very, very insecure. Yeah. And the Lord has had to work on that. And so when that happened, it continued, you know, the whole college journey, dual enrollment. Like, I was technically supposed to be, I had just graduated from high school.
You're already in.
But I was already in college, like, and everyone that I was around, like, always surrounded myself by older. So it was very mature for my age. Yeah. But still very immature, too.
Right.
And so I realized, I'm like, this theater thing is not for me. I don't love it enough. I don't have a passion for it enough. Like, I can't go to LA and live off of, like, crumbs for, like, 5 years. Not for me. I was like, I love it. I'll do it as a hobby. So I left the school. And I ended up doing personal training because I got really passionate about fitness because I felt so bad about my body. And I thought that it was like, if I had a better body, then that guy would have loved me more. Or like, so I always brought it in. Like, I never blame people in my life. I'm not that kind of person where it's like, I'm angry at you. Yeah. I'll be more angry at myself. I'll blame me. And so I try to do things to like fix myself. And one of those things was getting a personal trainer. And then it ignited this passion for fitness that I didn't know I had.
Wow.
Didn't know I could be passionate about that. Because, you know, like, I never played sports or anything.
Right.
But my personal trainer really made me feel loved and cared for. And he was a really nice guy. And also, like, a macho dude who, like, didn't judge me. And I was like, I want to do this for other people. Like, he made me feel so loved. And I want to have that experience for others. So got into doing that. Did that for 2 years. And in the midst of that, like a couple months into that, I was like, I should move to New York. I should go to New York. And like, I'm already 20 at the time.
Okay.
And I was like, I think that's like the best course of action because I was working with an agency. I was doing like commercial work, like for Pepsi and like all these, you know, things in Miami, just like extra work on movies. I was like, I think I can do this in New York and maybe I'll be more successful over there. And I always loved New York. I saw New York as like every show, Sex and the City, Futurama, like all this Girls, like everything's New York. So I had this fascination. And I was like, well, life is going to be good in New York. And my mom did not want
Oh, no, absolutely not.
I was living with her outside. And she's like trying her best to like stop me from going to New York. And, but ultimately, you know, there was always hindrance, but she always supported me. Unlike my dad. My dad was more just like, do whatever you want.
Yeah, just don't talk to me about it.
Yeah, like, no, he was there and he was like a good dad.
Okay.
But yeah, we're not going to get deep. We're not going to get deep like that. He had his moments here and there. And so when I finally moved to New York.
You did go.
I did go. Yeah, I remember. Like I had a personal training friend. Her name was Melissa, who was also a lesbian.
Okay.
And I loved her. And she gave me the best advice. She's like, Samuel, it's like, what are you worried about? Like, you only live once. Like, do what you feel. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen? I'm like, you're right. Like, I'm already miserable here. Like, why not take the chance? And so off of her advice, I was like, I'm going to take the step. And she also really helped me. She helped me in the personal training process as well. Love that girl. So then I went to New York, moved there, no family, no friends, completely alone, got an apartment in Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy. And it was a really great apartment, actually. And very expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive. Wow. And even back then, I can only imagine now how much an apartment like that goes for. But I started doing personal training and I met a drag queen. And the drag queen I was training as a guy, he was like, hey, you know, like, you're very attractive. If you want to meet more people, you should become a stripper. There's a lot of, you know, queer gay clubs that would love to have you. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I love attention.
Yeah.
I love entertaining. Like, why not? Like, I'll try anything once, you know? And so I was like, I've already done, like, theater really prepared me to, like, do a lot of really weird things. So I was like, taking my clothes off in front of people is nothing that I haven't already been prepared for 2 years in theater school, which is really
And you were
weird.
Training yourself, like, physically, so you're probably feeling better about yourself.
I remember I was like, yeah, I should take this opportunity and do it. I'll meet people. You know, what's the worst that could happen? So whenever I do something, I do it all out. One of the things that it says always is like you have very black and white thinking. It's like you're extreme in everything. Like if you hate yourself, like you hate yourself. If you like love yourself, you love yourself. Or like
you're all in or you're all out.
All out, like in every aspect. If someone betrays you, they're evil. You know, like if someone is good, they're the angel. You know. So I've been working on that. It's been exposing those things little by little in the Lord. But I was like, I'm gonna do this all out. And if I'm gonna be a stripper, I'm gonna be the best stripper there is in New York. Everyone's gonna know my name.
Wow.
And so I would see the gay parties that were happening, and I was like on a hunt. Like I tracked down the management and the people who were doing the parties, and got their emails and numbers and connected my way in. And I remember there's this one guy, he was doing a lot of parties, Fire Island, all that stuff. I don't know if you've ever spent any time in New York. You're a California girl.
Yeah. I didn't need to go to New York.
Very different.
Yeah.
And and so I went over to his house and he was like wanted to audition me to see if I could be the next go-go boy for his parties. Because if I got booked with him, he was going to continually book me for every party. And he was like, take off all your clothes. I want to see you completely naked. Wow. And I want to see what you got. And so I remember thinking in that moment, I was like, what am I doing? But at the same time, like, okay, like, let's do it, you know? So that was like really like weird.
And you were about how old?
I was 21. I just turned 21 years old.
Wow.
And he was in his 50s.
Whoa.
Yeah, not a cool situation. And we were all alone in his house. So I did really dangerous things.
Yeah.
That looking back, I'm like, God protected me so much.
Yeah.
That I also forgot to mention that after I lost my virginity, it was like I went all in.
That's what I was wondering. Did you go kind of nuts after that?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Like,
and not dating, just hooking up?
Well, I wanted to date.
Okay.
But I was very clingy. So I wanted that romantic love. But I was also desperate. So anytime I would feel a move back or distance, I would throw myself at them. So when it came to at that point, I remember I had probably slept with like over 100 guys already. Like, like I had
from 16 to 21 years old, or 17.
From 18, or I lost it at 18.
Okay.
Yeah, to 21. It was like over 100 guys.
Wow.
I remember I kept a book, a little black book, and to write down the names because I would forget like who I had been with. I'd forgotten all the like, and this is normal. Wow. I was actually not slutty. Can you believe that?
Over 100 people in a 3-year span is not
that wasn't slutty because I actually would go on the dates and I would want the relationship. There were guys who just they just wanted the sex.
Wow.
I never did that. I never was just looking for the sex. Yeah. Like I was pursuing a relationship. And I was just desperate. So I can only imagine if I was slutty, right, how many guys I would have ran through.
Oh gosh.
Through that.
Yeah.
So when I got to that point of like auditioning, he was like, "You're good. I like your body. I like what you have. You know, I'll book you for the parties." So I was obviously very responsible. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. A lot of those guys were very intoxicated on a lot of heavy drugs. Okay. They'd be like, "How do you do this?" Because I would show up and they'd be like, "You want some, you know, some snorts?"
Yeah.
And I'd be like, "No, I'm good." He's like, "Do you want a drink?" And they're like, "I'm like, no, I'm good." They're like, "What's wrong with you?"
Like, how are you doing this sober?
Yeah, like they were confused. It was really weird. Like I felt like I had something different that they didn't have in their life. And I still very much did have a relationship with God, but it was a very messy relationship.
I was going to say, were you going to church or anything at this time?
I never stopped going to church.
Okay.
My parents continued to raise us in the church even after the scandal. We went to many different churches. We went to a very large mega church, had experiences there. Then they took us to a Baptist church, had experiences there. And
so church was always still part of your life to some degree.
Yeah, my parents would force us to go. So no matter what, until I left our house, they were hounding us.
What about when you left?
When I left, I ended up going to Hillsong in New York.
Okay.
But I had encounters. I had many encounters. There was actually a time in middle school where I took a summer and there was this prophet guy that came over to my house. He had seen me in a crowd or something. This was one of those big mega churches. And he's like, "I want to go to your house," which is a little weird. Yeah, right? Yeah. Because I was like a child. Yeah. But like with the permission of my parents.
Okay.
He came over and he said, "God has told me everything about you." He said, "I know you're gay." He didn't know. He like literally seen me.
Yeah.
He's like, "I know you're gay." He's like, "I know all the things that you've been going through, but God has revealed that he's going to use you in a very mighty way." Ooh. Like, he's like, "You're going to write a book." He's like, "This summer is going to be a summer that you never forget." And I never forgot that summer. I've forgotten all the other summers. He's like, "You're going to get a car this summer." I got a car. So I don't really believe in a lot of prophets. I think there's a lot of fakers out there. Yeah. But when it's someone like that
there's a real prophetic voice.
Yes, real prophetic voice. Not looking for the fame, not looking for any of that. I remember being stunned, and he's like, "There's gonna be people who are like, you're gonna change their lives," and I was like, "How?" Yeah. He's like, "And on the back,"
because you were young. You were in middle school.
I was very young, and he told me, he's like, "On the back of your book, I see you have a wife, and you have 2 kids." And I was like, which hasn't happened yet, but but I was like stunned by that. And he's like, "And she's beautiful. You're gonna love her. She's beautiful." And I was like, okay, like, so that really impacted me. And I went to like a little camp, and I was really into God for like a summer. But then it just became too much pressure. Yeah. Like I was like, I don't want to do this. Yeah. And I believe that this was already after the time that I'd come out. Okay. So then I just was like, no, I want to go back to what I was doing, you know? And so I kind of left that behind. Yeah.
I would just go to church when your parents.
But I had a lot of encounters with the Lord. You know, it just was too much for me to handle, and too much pressure. And I felt like, especially with those prophetic words, like, I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be known. Yeah. You know, like, not in the church. Like, I wanted to be known secularly. Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I wanted to be
God world. Yeah.
You know, but not, like, I'm like, that. I've seen the bad. I don't want to be a missionary. They sleep on couches. I'm too like
bougie.
Too bougie for that. Too bougie for that. Yeah. Can't live that life. And so I'm like, I'd rather make my money and pay, and you know, I'm good. And so when I got to New York, doing the stripping thing, I was still going to Hillsong, still trying to have a relationship with God, but there were things that would just like turn me off to it. Like I was looking for a reason not to go because I'd be like, what have they said about gay people? Oh yeah. You know, like I was like, I heard that this pastor is like homophobic, you know, and I knew it was wrong, but at the same time, I was like, I didn't want to be confronted with that yet. I wasn't ready to deal with that. Yeah. I just wanted to have my fun and do my life. And I remember I had a folder in my computer that had a sermon from Jackie Hill Perry that I put, I named it Gay. And I put all the resources and articles that I wanted to read about gay and sexuality. Yes. But I just couldn't touch it yet. So I remember it sat on my computer for like 4 years, never listening to it, just like there. And 2 or 4 years, I don't remember. And so continued to do the whole stripper thing. It got to a point where I was so popular, Kim. I was like on Fire Island. I was on billboards and posters. Like my parents came to visit one time. And I was like, let's go to Fire Island. I don't know why I thought that.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And I forgot that I had done a photo shoot. And like my poster was everywhere. Like my butt naked poster.
Oh, no.
And I remember like when I brought them there, I was like, I saw the poster and I was like, look over there.
Let's go there.
Yeah, like look over there. And then I would like rip off the poster.
Oh,
like,
my gosh.
Trying to avoid it. And I think my
mom, they had no clue.
They didn't know. But my mom, she found out. She saw one of the posters. And then my cousin told her too. They're like, Samuel's been stripping. Wow. And my mom was like supporting me a little bit because the rent was too much, even with the personal training.
Oh, yeah.
And with the stripping, wasn't enough money. Guy strippers don't make a lot of money unless you're doing other stuff. Yeah. And I never did that. And so she's like, I'm going to cut you off. Good luck. If you don't want to stop doing that, I'm going to cut you off. And I was like, I'm not going to stop. Like, I'm going to do what I want. You know, like, this is my life and you can't control me. I'll make my money some other way. I'm going to strip even harder. I'm going to be a porn star.
Yeah.
Let's see how you like
prove
that.
you wrong. Yeah.
Exactly. Like, I'm going to make my money. But then I realized I was incredibly unhappy. And I had a friend who had come to visit me who at the time I was like sort of dating, but not really. And he made me realize that I wasn't valuing myself. And it was some hard truths that I was like, I think he's right. And then I remember that people knew me more by my fake stage name than they knew me by my real name. And so all these people knew who I was, but it was an image, a fake image of who I was. It was a caricature that I had created. And I was like, I don't want that. And I don't like that. But I need to get out of New York because I don't have money to pay this rent. So I left there when I got a job on a cruise ship. I applied for the job on a cruise ship, found my way in there, and went back to Miami for some time before they put me on the ship. There was medical stuff that you had to do and all that. And then they shipped me out to Australia. And was really happy there, learned a lot, traveled a lot, went to Fiji Islands. It was beautiful. And I thought, I was like, this is going to be my career. You know, this is, who doesn't love a job like this? You're traveling all the time. I'm single, you know. But they worked us to the bone. You don't stop. There's no days off. Your days off is the end of your 6-month contract. You have 1 month and then you get back on another 6-month contract. You're away from your family in the holidays. I spent Christmas alone. Everybody gets wasted. Everyone's like away from their family. Some people have kids, spouses that they don't see. They're all wasted, having sex with one another. You know, it's real. It's a really.
Were you in that? Were you sleeping around? Did you start drinking or anything during?
Once again, Kim.
Okay.
There was just no gay people
on the cruise ship.
On the cruise ship. God would protect me. He really would protect me. Like I'm telling you, like. Anytime that he didn't protect me, it was because I went for it. And I really tried hard to be looking for it, you know? But like God would, like, I remember there were times in New York when I was dating and I'd be like, Mom, I don't understand. I'd call her. I'd be like, I really like this guy. But then they just like disappear. They ghost
me. Your mom's like, I'm praying.
Yeah, literally. She'd get off the phone. She would pray to God. She's like, thank you, God. Like, yes, please let them keep ghosting him. Yeah. Like, because I never had a relationship throughout that entire time. Wow. Never did. And that was partly my fault because I was really clingy.
Yeah.
And so you're like,
but hold on. I mean, there are other clingy men too. So you could have met them. Like there are men who are searching and seeking in the same way, and that could have happened. And the fact that it didn't is kind of rare.
Yeah, it is really rare. Like I spent so much time having relationships.
You're a good-looking dude.
Oh, thank you.
Like I'm not hitting on you. You know, you're like a brother to me. But like for real, like it's not like
I would say that too. I'd be like, am I ugly? Like I'm like, what's going on? Like I don't understand. But I knew I wasn't ugly because they wanted to have sex with me. Yeah. They just didn't want to be in a relationship with me. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, like they like me for sex. And that didn't number on me too.
Oh yeah.
So that was a whole other thing.
Being used. Like
Like imagine like growing up and the only time people value you is when you have sex to offer to them. And so I still deal with that in my life today with Christ and breaking all of that I put into myself. So on the cruise ship, I was miserable. I did 2 months, and I was like, I call it quits. I'm done. But great experiences overall. Went back to Miami, was super depressed. I didn't mention this, but I struggled with depression a lot. Like, I was very suicidal. All that anxiety from the homeschool thing continued on. The depression started in middle school when I had that whole encounter with the best friend. There was a high when I felt that drugs and dopamine, and then a low that I never experienced. It was like I gained consciousness for the first time. Like, everything before that, I was like on autopilot. And after that, it was like, I came into myself, and this was like my life now. Just depression. I remember being really depressed when I got back home from Miami. I was 21 at the time, and I was back with my parents, and I felt like a failure. I had done everything I possibly could to seek happiness, to seek love, to seek success, and I couldn't keep up with life. And I was really at a low. I was, at the time, you know, I had one day where I was just really depressed. I don't remember what happened, but I was really feeling it. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't want to live like this anymore. I am tired of this. I'm tired of the same thing over and over and over. Like, I'm so tired. Like, I meet a guy, I like them, they leave me, I get depressed. I meet another guy. It's just more of the same thing over and over. And man, like, and the same thing with my career. Like, I'm happy for a couple of months, and then I achieve all the goals, and I am bored. And I was like, I don't want to live. I want to go out on my terms and just be done with this. Like, I don't feel like there's a place in this life for me. I don't fit anywhere. And it was very logical, you know, to me in my mind. It wasn't even very emotional. It was just very logical. And it wasn't emotional, and I just, like, you know, but I remember my mom telling me something. She said, sometimes God wants to give us a message, because I was still dealing with all this God stuff too. Like, what does God think? Yeah. She's like, God wants to give us a message, but he can't, because we've prevented him from, because we've built up walls. Like, and I remember the story of Daniel, where there was a message that God wanted to give through an angel to Daniel, but it took the angel time, and Daniel had to be fasting to receive that message. And I knew that there was a spiritual war around us. And I was like, you know, maybe God has a plan for my life, and all those things that I learned in middle school are true. And he wants to do something with me. He cares about me, and he loves me. Doesn't feel that way. No. I feel very abandoned. I feel very abused. And I don't think he loves me. I don't think he cares about me at all. Because if he did, he would have showed up for me. And I felt like he had many opportunities to show up for me when I called out at night. God, help me to be straight. Help me to not be gay. I told him, God, I don't want this for my life. How many nights I spent crying over this, you know, wanting to be normal, wanting to have a normal life. And I felt abandoned from God. And I said, if he really wanted me to change, he would have. And he would have showed up for me. And he never did. So I remember just, like, thinking logically and say, okay, well, if God's trying to get a message to me and he wants to show up, then I got to do something to help him show up. So I was like, maybe I have to play a part in this. So I remember I put on Spotify, random playlist, Christian playlist. I didn't even have Christian music. Put it on my bedside, and I said, tomorrow I'm going to kill myself. Nothing changes. If I feel depressed, I'm going to kill myself. Wow. And that's it. I'm going to go. I'm going to figure out a way to do it. I'm going to do it. And I said, so God, this is your opportunity. Wow. You tell me if you really are real. You tell me. And so I went to sleep with the Christian music. I'm like, I helped you. Yeah, there's your open door, God. Yeah. I helped you. And that night, it was later revealed to me, like, by God through visions, that I felt the Lord come into my room, and he cleaned my feet. He like washed me clean that night. And you didn't, like, repent, nothing. There wasn't, like, no, nothing of that. I was like, show me you're real. Yeah. He came in, washed my feet while I slept. The morning of, I woke up. I didn't know any of that had happened. And I felt all of my depression lifted. It was gone. It was like someone had shot me with, like, steroids or something, or like dopamine, or I felt happy. I felt joyful for the first time. And
that next morning.
The next morning. In months. Probably years.
I was going to say years, kind of, because
I have not felt that way. Like, when I'm depressed, it carries on to the morning. Like, it does not get better. I stay in bed.
Yeah.
And I was, like, shocked. I was like, God, is this you? Like, this has to be you, because I never experienced this before.
Yeah.
And I was like, God is real. Like, he has to be real. And so I laid down on my bed and I just prayed, and I told God, like, I don't know what you want for my life, but I've done things my way, and now I want to do things your way, and I want to give it all to you. I've done it all, so I can't say I didn't do it.
Try it.
I didn't try it.
Yeah.
I've tried it all.
Yeah.
I really have.
Yeah.
Been everywhere.
Yeah.
Done it all. I was like, now it's your turn, and you get to decide. And if this is really a good thing, I'm going to see the fruit of that in my life. And I just trusted him. As I didn't know what he thought about being gay or any of that stuff. That was the last thing on my mind. I wasn't even thinking.
Wasn't it on
guys.
sexuality? Okay.
No, I didn't care. At that point, I was like, I don't care about dating anybody.
Yeah.
And I spent the next 3-4 months, 6 months, I don't remember how much time. It was a long time. Just alone, listening to sermons, listening to debates, listening to anything I could get my hands on that was Christian related. I had a list of questions. If God loves us, why does he do this? Or why is there cancer? Or why, all this, like any question I had, like what are the different religions? Like what is the proof for that? How can we know if he really is one true God? What's up with Judaism?
Right.
Every video, I still have the playlist. It's like over, like, I don't even know, like of 700, 800 videos. Long videos by theologians and all this stuff. I finally came to the conclusion that all of the evidence pointed to Jesus. So I wasn't just going to blindly believe in Jesus. I was like, I need to know that if this is not Muhammad or if this is not something else. And so I looked at all the religions and I was like, this is the one that makes the most sense. This is the one that has the most evidence.
Yeah.
So whoever saved me that night, it was Jesus. It has to be Jesus. And I called out to Jesus that night. So I didn't call out to Satan. I didn't call out to Muhammad. I called out to Jesus. So I already had that bias. But I still tried not to be biased. And I continued to study. And I just became so passionate about his word that I wanted to go to the university to learn more. Because remember, this is all by myself. There's a pastor.
I was going to say, you're not involving your parents, nothing. This is something you're doing.
All me. My parents were like, he's going through a phase or something. Like they thought they thought I was faking it. And so they're like, he'll grow out of that. He'll go back to his ways. They had very little faith in me at this point.
Yeah, understandable. Right?
Yeah. And so same here. Like I didn't know it was good, but God was doing a work in me.
Yeah.
Like unbelievable.
Yeah.
I look back at the time and I'm like, I don't even know what happened. Like I wish that could happen now, Yeah. He was really doing a number. And I gave up everything, and I remember 3-4 months into that, I was still hooking up on Grindr, doing all that. Hadn't repented. And I told God, if you don't want this for my life, then you have to convict me of this. And that's what I did. I just kept doing it. And I remember one time I was in the middle of the act with another dude, and he convicted me in the middle of the act. Like I felt disgusted with what I was doing. I didn't want to be there anymore. That had never happened. I walked away. I was like, sorry, it's not you, it's me. Walked away from the situation. And I made a promise to God there. I was like, God, I want to give my sexuality to you.
Ooh.
And I'm deleting everything, deleting Grindr, like not talking to guys anymore. If I have to be abstinent, that's what I'm going to do for you.
Wow.
And he fully gave me the strength. Gave up porn, gave up everything. Like it was unbelievable. Like just cold turkey, like from one day to the next.
Like from hooking up,
all of it. I was like severely sex addicted at this point. Like it's an unreal.
Yeah.
Like cold turkey completely changed. And started going to the university, went to Oral Roberts University for a biblical literature degree. Love the Bible, love the Hebrew, Greek, want to learn everything about it. I was really like inspired by theologians, and I wanted to know what the truth was.
Yeah.
Not what the pastors were telling me, not what the church was doing, not what tradition
What is
said.
true?
What is true? And I wanted to see it with my eyes, with my eyeballs.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I gotta see it. Yeah.
Yep.
So that was my journey of like, I gotta go to the university. I have to pay for this. And so I did that. And then started, I throughout that process, I think around there, I put up my video on YouTube. Like it was, I was coming back from the gym. I was in sweats. And God just spoke to me and said, Sammy, your story is important and your testimony is important. There's someone out there who needs to hear this. And I was like, no one is going to care about my story, you know? But I was like, you know what, God, like, I've always been obedient to you. I'm going to do this. So I set up my camera, parked at a random park in my sweats, just talked about my testimony. Same thing what I'm doing here today. That was the first time I shared my testimony online. And the video sat there for 1.5 years, not gaining traction. Only people who saw were like family members and stuff. Continued on. I was doing prayer room stuff, doing university, studying. Didn't even know really what I wanted.
So still not living in that old life.
No, completely gone from that. I had a falling back into porn 8 months after I got free. I was becoming like pharisaical.
Oh, I know that life.
To the point where it was like, people were like, I'm depressed and I use medication. I was like, that's demonic. Because like, when
you didn't need it.
Exactly. Because God had done such a work in my life that I couldn't imagine him not doing that in other people's lives.
Right.
But now I look back and I'm like, that was so wrong.
Yeah.
That was so wrong.
Couldn't meet people where they were at and in their journey.
Yeah.
Because they didn't look like
and God had to humble me. He had to humble me. But he's, you know, he has a process for everything. And I'm so grateful for his process. He's always looked after me. And so that video was sitting on there for a year and a half. I think around 2019, the Lord gives me a word, and I was really struggling because I had lost all my personal training clients because that's what I was doing for work. Nothing seemed to be working for me, and I wanted to get another job in tech. I never wanted to be in ministry. Then 2019 came around. God gives me this word. I'm really struggling with my career and everything, and he's like, I want you to take everything that you've learned from when you were like a little nerd in middle school and do your videos, do podcasts, make this a full-time job. And I said, God, no one is going to care.
Yeah.
No one's going to care. If I make a website, who am I?
Yeah.
I'm like this guy in the middle of Miami. I think at this time, I didn't even have like a couple hundred followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like just my personal Instagram. And I was weird too, because I was getting into the Lord for the first time. So I did really weird, immature things.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll take you seriously, God. Like, he gave me that word. It's like, how can you be a good steward to things to come if you haven't been a good steward to what you already have? And I had all these skills and tools that I wasn't using. And I was like, I can do something. I can make websites. I can do podcasts. I can video, you know, I can do graphic design.
Yeah.
So I made a whole website with my face on it, did a little impromptu photo shoot in my mom's bedroom. It's still up on the website.
I cannot.
Like, I made it look all professional, like fake it till you make it.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, whatever. I'll start a podcast.
I'll do what you say, yeah.
Yeah. Within that week that he gave me that word, that I put up that website, did all the donation links, everything, like all that stuff, I'm like, nothing's going to happen. That week, my video went viral. Overnight. It shot from, I think it had 4,000 views, which friends, family, all that stuff,
Yeah.
to 300,000 overnight.
Wow. One catch.
I woke up with like 100 messages.
Like that.
All over my Instagram, all over followers. Like, I was so unprepared for this.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, what is happening?
Right.
Like, I went from talking to no one.
Right.
No one even, I remember there would be days where like, if I got a text message, I'd be like, oh my God, I got a text message.
Oh.
Like, no one cared about me. I didn't have friends, nothing. Like, all of my gay friends, they had abandoned me because I had taken this journey.
Yeah.
And to hundreds of people from all over the world messaging me.
Yeah.
It was a little traumatic.
Yeah.
But also really crazy. Like, I was like, wow, like, this is incredible. And I was like, I want to be a good steward. Like, God, you did this. Like,
Yeah.
this can be a job for me.
Right.
I didn't even realize, like, and I had all these donations coming in.
And were people reaching out, Samuel, like, hey, like, tell me more about your story? What were some of those messages?
It was a lot of people just who were also same-sex attracted. It was people who were dealing with people who were same-sex attraction, gender identity stuff.
Okay.
It wasn't a lot of Christians. It wasn't a lot of people that were in church and all that stuff. It was, I don't know what YouTube did, but it sent out the videos. I do know that it did go to church people.
Yeah.
Because I had church friends that were like, I saw
your video.
I saw your video, and like, I'm like, we haven't spoken in like 6 months.
Wow.
Or they would tell me, like, there was one guy, he's like, my mentor and me were on a bus, and I saw that he was watching a video. When I looked over, it was your face. And he's like, I know that guy. And they were like in Guatemala or something. Like, it was like, this video was going everywhere.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And I was in school during this time. I continued my semester, and I think maybe I was only 2 or 3 semesters short from graduating. And the ministry was becoming so much with keeping up with online and all of that. Like, I was doing the podcast, making videos, trying to be a good steward to that. I didn't have time to study. I didn't have time to like go to class and do all that online. So I was like, you know what? This opportunity only comes once in a lifetime. Let me jump on it and see what God wants me to do from there. And then he just kind of took the wheel from there. Like, I had started Bible study groups. I was very passionate about discipleship. Am still very passionate about it. So I would always lead people that were like me, that weren't really accepted in church, that maybe had a lot of church hurt. Took them under my arms and taught them everything that I learned in the university. Very flawed, I'm not a great. First of all, I'm not a people. Like one-on-one, I think I do well, but like, I don't think I have that gift. I don't think I have that pastor gift or anything like that. And I've tried it, and now I know.
You had the hunger to share what you experienced, and who you experienced.
All I was doing was just making sure that I was being a good steward to what God had given me. And I knew that there were people out there who wanted help, and I always just wanted to help people. That's all I ever wanted to do. I wanted to point people to Jesus and help them however I could. And the only way I knew how to do that was to teach the Bible. And so that's what I would do. Then I started doing Bible studies online, and the Lord has just increased that. And then for a while, I did like a little online church because these Bible studies kept growing and growing. And then I got involved with a nonprofit that they do disciple making in an untraditional way in the Middle East and all those places. And they taught me some tips. And so basically all of the time from when I was 22 years old to now, I'd just been online ministering. And that was a very weird time. Because it was a time of growth. It was a time of understanding. It was a time of making mistakes. But also like...
Messy.
It was messy. It was messy. And also, like, I feel like I've done a good job at keeping a lot of things to myself so that I am a good, like, steward once again. So I'm very careful online with what I do. But it was definitely, like, no one ever taught me to be a leader. No one ever came to me to help me. I had one mentor, and, at the time he had a family and kids, and he stopped picking up the calls and... but he did his best, and I understood, like, when you have a family, things get busy. But I just had to kind of figure it out. And so...
It's a lot of us. It's kind of my journey as well. That's not to blame anybody or be like, nobody else. But when you don't have a lot of leadership or people even maybe who know how to walk with you.
Yes. And I would go to church, sharing my story, being like, help me. Like, I want leadership. I want mentorship. And they didn't know how to deal with me.
No.
And that's why, like... To this day, I still feel very passionately about what I do. There have been many times where I wanted to walk away because, like, my life is ruined. I will tell you, Kim. I will never be a normal person. My face is up there. My name is up there. Everything I've done is up there. Everyone knows me, and everyone will always know me. This is the legacy that I leave behind, whether it's positive or whether it's negative. I will never live a normal life. This is the price that I've paid. So I can never have a normal job. No company will hire me because they Google me. And all this stuff comes up, which is very controversial in today's day and age. I can't get a regular job. I can't do anything for my life. But one thing I do know that the Lord has really been instilling in me is like what we do here, which is no one is going after this specific topic with this specific group of people. And I can't, I think for a while, I think I was really passionate about discipleship, and I wanted to do more of like teaching and I wanted to cover every area. And I realized I don't think I have the gift for that. I think my gift is sexuality. My voice is for those people. And I think I wanted to run away from that because it's such a hard life. It's really hard, and only other leaders would know what that feels like, to instantly have someone where you walk into a place and they know you and they judge you. And so it's been difficult. And I mean, you've walked through that, especially with Freedom March. And it's not a life that anybody wants to have, and we get teared down by Christians. We get teared down by secular people. There's no relief for us. I know how many people are touched and helped every day by just me simply sharing my story and showing that I'm alive and that I'm thriving in Christ. and in my mistakes, because I've made a lot of mistakes. You know, I have had times where I have fallen, but I have never hidden my mistakes. Amen. That's one thing that I've always done. Amen. And that's one thing my mom always says. She's like, one thing I love about you is that you're honest.
Amen.
You know?
Yeah, come on.
And that's one thing that I don't want people to ever take away from me. No matter how embarrassed I feel, no matter how shameful. You know what? Like, the church doesn't accept me. And I think I've tried for a long time to, like,
please everybody.
Please. I've had such a problem with that this year. And I really learned this year, 29 years old, boundaries in ministry, boundaries with people. The Lord really showed me all of that through the many ups and downs of ministry, the failed things that I did, the successful things that I did. He's just been growing me through it all. Yeah. And the pitfalls of it all. Like, this year was really rough. For the first time ever, I had an encounter with a guy who I honestly fell head over heels for, basically. And that had never happened to me. Yeah. And I went on a podcast and I talked about it and I exposed it to the world because, like, once again, I'm honest, you know, like, within the month. And it was really difficult. I had to do a lot of soul searching to figure out why I let a stranger have so much of me and why I gave so much of myself away to someone I barely even knew. And I think that there were still things that God wanted to expose in my heart that I hadn't dealt with. And there's also burnout. Yeah. As I've been through so much this year, I moved from Miami to Pennsylvania and, you know, have a home now. And it's a completely different life than what I've lived for the past 6 years, where I was a recluse in my comfortable little bubble online. Yeah. And now, like having so many new experiences, evangelizing in person. I go to gay clubs. I go to gay bars. I talk to gay people. I evangelize to them. I talk to them about my experience. I share my testimony with them. I never did that before. I was too scared. I was scared. What would Christians think if they see me at a gay bar? They're going to think you went back to the lifestyle, or they're going to want to control me. Don't do that. That's bad for you. You know, you don't want to be caught in that. God is my provider. Right. I only have to please him. He knows my heart. Right. That's all that matters to me. I obviously use wisdom. Yeah. I have people in my life, thank God, when I moved to Pennsylvania, finally found a home church that I've been going to for over a year. Good. Have incredible mentors. My mentor's like 70 years old.
Amen. Come on, those are the best.
So much wisdom.
I got my own too, yep.
So much wisdom. And I prayed for years for that. It's for someone who would actually genuinely care about me, spend time with me. Yeah. We meet up for 5 hours every single week. Like, powerful. He's been leading a home group church for over 40 years. The wisdom this guy has. Yeah. And the love of Christ that it like exudes from them. Yeah. When I enter their home, they open up the dinner table. We all feast and eat together and we share, and there's nothing like that. So the Lord has really put me in like an incredible position this year. And also I feel like I lost my way there for a while. Yeah. I was focusing on things that wasn't my gifting. Yeah. And trying to figure it out. Distracted, definitely. And trying to please people. Yeah. And this year, the Lord exposed all that. And he's like, time for some boundaries. Yeah. Time to figure out why you felt like this, why you did what you did. You know?
Not in punishment, but because he loves you, because he loves me. He wants to, like, I just heard the phrase, and I've heard this from my own life and my own falls, my own mess, and all of that the Lord reveals to heal. Yes. Right? When he reveals something, you know, and I think if you don't know his nature and his character, if you don't know the radical love that God has for you, that is, it's his kindness that is supposed to lead us to repentance, not the fear of hell. Right?
And like, God has been so good to me. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like, sometimes I'm like in the midst of when I fell with this guy, I was in the home buying process. And thinking like, God's not going to give me this home. I'm not going to, you know, I was telling you earlier before we got that I barely had to pay anything for my house. Yeah. I was giving grants by a bank. So I didn't even have to put basically anything out of pocket. And that was a miracle of its own. And in the midst of all of that was when I was deep in sin. And I remember thinking to God, like, why did you do this? Yeah. Like, why do you love me? Like, I don't understand. Like, I have done, like, if I did this to someone else, I would never talk to that person ever again. And I have literally like betrayed you and I have hurt you so much, and you've been so good to me. Why? And it's that kindness that leads us to repentance. And then he's done other things that has like severely disciplined me from there, you know?
Yeah. And there's consequences we have to face.
Absolutely.
There's real things. Yeah.
Feeling the consequences of that. Like,
but that's even a form of his love. And I think, Samuel, I think that's like what we sometimes miss is like when we have these encounters with the Lord that are very real and we experience levels of freedom. Yeah. We think, okay, now I'm good. Now I'm perfect. Now I'm basically a miniature Jesus. And then we usually will have some sort of fall, unfortunately. I mean, I'm just saying what I'm seeing. I'm not saying that's God's plan. Yeah. But what I see in my own life and then in so many of my friends, of course, is like, and then we get humbled and then we kind of stray again. He's like, you guys just don't understand me. Yeah. Like there's a reality of being set free. But if we don't receive healing, we're going to end up in these cycles. And I think that's why he allows us to fall. He doesn't, that's not his ordained perfect will, but he allows us to fall to let us see, like, you need me always. Yeah. Not just because you're struggling with this sexual thing or this guy or this girl. No, you need me always, and I want to be there for you. And also, I don't bless you because you did good. Yes. He blesses because it's who he is. Yeah. And he wants us to experience his goodness. He wants to show us that he's better than any love we think we can find.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And that was one of the reasons, like, when I had my fall, I remember literally being like, I can't do this. I can't, I could if I wanted to. You know, there have been people, we know, you know.
Yeah. And you could run off and live a different life.
I really could. I could delete it all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know, go back to being a normal person, doing whatever I want. Yeah. And I said, I can't. I can't do this to God. I love God more than I want the love that you're offering to me. Yeah. And that was the hardest thing I ever had to do. Like, I mean, when I came to God, it was hard because I had nothing. Right. So I gave him everything. Yeah. This year was like a year where I had everything and I had to give him everything.
Or you had a choice.
Yeah.
Because you could have kept everything.
Yeah, I could have.
In a different route.
Absolutely. Like
it's like a deeper love you're entering.
Yeah, I'm like, I had money. I had success. I was finally living in the city that I wanted to. Like, had all these blessings that he had given to me that have all happened because of him. And I was like, I don't need to if I don't want to. But I can't live without Jesus. Like, I can't, like, as much as I want to. Sometimes, like, I really want to. Like, I'm like, I fought so hard. Like, I think about this dude way too much still. I'm still healing from this. This was only 5 months ago. Yeah. Still think about it, still have moments of weakness. Yeah. But if it were to happen, I know I would still make the same decision that I made back then. That it was like, I can't do this. I gave my life to Jesus and he loves me so much. His love is not fickle. His love is not, I love you today and I'm gone tomorrow. His love is forever and it's eternal. And so I literally told the guy, I was like, you may love me today and you may want to be with me today. But in 3 years from now, that can change. Yeah. And I gave up everything for you. Yeah. You know, and I know it will change because we're human beings. Absolutely, it's going to change.
And even if it didn't, even if he loved you under your deathbed, what now?
It wouldn't be enough to satisfy.
Or when he dies. Yeah. You're still alive. He loved you till the end of his days. But what now? Now you got to start all over. Like, the cross, like that. That. What was done for us was not so we could live trying to seek and find this other love, this other thing to fill us. When, you know, and but there's a constant, and that's in my life, that's in your life, that's in everybody's, no matter what we're facing in life, same-sex attraction or not. Yeah. Like this is real, and like a love that your soul and my soul has longed for since we were created.
Yeah. And I think, you know, I think a lot of people think it's like that path that you were saying, where it's like it's easy. You know, you come to God, you receive freedom, and then it's all good. I've studied the Bible a lot. Yeah. There's one thing I've done is study the Bible. You don't see that in the Bible. Yeah. You see very imperfect human beings falling, making mistakes, picking themselves up, making more mistakes. Like, read your Bible, people. Yeah. Read the Old Testament.
Read the New Testament. Peter denying him.
Absolutely. you find it more in the Old Testament because it's more of their stories, fully lived out. Look at David. Mm-hmm. Look at Saul, and there's consequences to our lives. Look at Samson, but God understands our frame. Right. He understands what we're going to do before we do it. He knows what's hidden down, and he's not afraid. Human beings, we're afraid. We really are. We want things to be perfect. We want things to be just. Whom the Son sets free, he's free indeed, forever and always, always perfect, never make a mistake. And then we're disappointed when those mistakes happen. Because we set an idol in people's lives. Yeah, I have learned one thing: no one, and from especially where we're at, where we've seen a lot of people come and go, a lot of people fall, a lot of people rise. We're all going to have mistakes. We're all going to make mistakes, and I think people judge those mistakes, and we have to rise above that. We have to know that God doesn't work that way. Yeah, His Scripture doesn't work that way. Right, the stories are not that way, and it's His love that really truly does heal.
Absolutely. Well, and I think too, Samuel, I would say, like for me, the decisions I made, Jesus radically encountering me over 10 years ago. Yeah. And whole life changing, right? And I mean, very similar to yours with different narratives, right? But like a similar thread. But what I will say, what I've noticed as I grow in relationship with the Lord, not just doing things for Him, but really growing in relationship with Him, I'm actually realizing, and He's starting to get into my childhood. Oh yeah, wounds of my childhood, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. My parents were, but He's like, no, Kim, I want to go all the way back. And what I've noticed is I've given Him more and more to the knowledge that I have, like this, just have access to every part of me, Lord, not just sexuality, not just money, not just full access. That as He goes to those places, I'm finding healing starting to happen, and I'm seeing these cycles begin to break. Yes. Right? Yeah. As you're receiving this healing, because I say this a lot, like you can remove an apple from a tree, but it's still an apple tree because the root system. Yes. And so like, do we let Him get to the deeper things in us? And that can look different in all of our lives, but we all have a root system. Fruit comes from a root.
Absolutely.
Right?
And most times we're targeting the fruit instead of targeting the root.
Right. It's behaviors. It's these things. And look, in order to sometimes get to the root of something, you got to remove a lot of that fruit to access what's underneath that. Yeah. But if we stay focused just on why do I keep or I just keep falling, I can't be around men that I'm attracted to. I can't be around women that this. Okay, well, yeah, for seasons, I think that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through many different seasons where I was completely alone, seasons where I was surrounded by people, and the Lord has also been right there with me. Like last year, I knew I was broken. I knew there were parts of me that were broken. I shared with my friends and my family, and I was like, I need to get down to the root of this. And I'd never done any type of real inner healing. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, emotional healing. I bought 9 or 10 different books on emotional healing, the best ones that I could find from different denominations, different teachers, and different approaches. Psychology books, spiritual approaches. I read all of them, and I taught a course on it. Like, I made it fun for myself. So sometimes, like, to keep myself accountable, I'll teach it so that I go through it. But it's really for me.
It's for you, yeah. Someone else might get some fruit.
They're going to get there. A lot of people loved it, but it was mostly for me. Like, I did it for me. And so going through that, I realized all of those things that were hidden, how to develop healthy patterns of behavior. One of those things was journaling. I never journaled. I never unpacked my day. When traumatic things would happen, I would just like, we're moving along, and one of the things that I learned in the emotional healing was you have to unpack every day. Every day, because that stacks and it's going to crumble. Yeah, it's going to be bad. And even things that you think are like, that wasn't a big deal. You got to take that, unpack it, process, and bring it to the Lord. Exactly. Yeah. And doing that has completely changed my life. Understanding that is what led me to realize I'm not in a healthy place in ministry. Right. And I also haven't been like treating people the way that they deserve because I'm so burnt out, because I've been people pleasing, and it revealed so many different things in me that I'm like, wow, like I wish someone would have told me this sooner. Like, why? Like, that was an idea from God. Like there was no leader or anybody that ever told me like, you need to go through an emotional healing course or anything like that, or like give me tools or none of that. Mm-hmm. And I started learning these things and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, why are we not talking about this? This is life changing.
It's it's essential.
Yeah.
It's essential.
Yeah. And I'm like,
it's never ending.
Never ending. It never ends because we have new traumas that happen every day.
Right. And built up stuff that we just never dealt with or even knew.
Absolutely. One of the things that was really highlighted to me the most is God as provider, because I've always had a big problem with that. Like one of the reasons I never wanted to go into ministry was because I know ministry is funded by people. Mm-hmm. And I always want to work for my money. I want to be able to, I'm very like prideful in that way, unfortunately. Yeah. And I remember just having a lot of extreme stress that I was going to lose everything. I was going to, like God wasn't going to provide for me or was not going to have the money that I need to pay my bills and stuff. And I remember just processing that out in my journals and thinking to myself, like, this is lies. This is not true. Like, this is what's been in my head. Like, I need to declare that this is false.
Yeah.
And bring the word into my thoughts. And had I not done the process of journaling and inner healing, I would have never, those things would have never been revealed. Same thing with
thought patterns, lies you've believed.
Same thing with the whole reason why I fell with the guy. A random stranger comes into my life. I'm attracted to him. I've always been attracted to guys, but never have I ever fallen for something like that. What made that situation different? What was it about him? Where were you at personally? What were you going through at the moment that allowed you to make those decisions?
Right.
One of the
what
things,
are you longing for?
Exactly.
Deeper.
Exactly. And I realized that I was longing to be seen. I was longing to be heard. It's really funny. I have this huge ministry online where thousands of people see me.
Yeah.
And I feel unseen.
Yeah.
And I like it's so funny how so many people want what like I have. Like so many people are dying to have a following and to have a voice and to go on stages. And I'm like, it doesn't fulfill you. It does not fulfill you. If anything, it's so lonely. It's so lonely to know that people think that they know you and they've judged you and like you have no privacy.
You know what it reminds me of?
What?
When you said that you were stripping in New York and people knew your stage name, but they didn't know you.
Yeah.
And I think that we can have similar things within Christianity, within platforms is people think they know you, but like who really sees Samuel?
And who is willing to be involved in your life, really.
To really walk with
I have had an incredible friend. You know her. Her name is Stephanie. She's my best friend. This year, I don't think I've ever seen the love of God so palpable, so real in front of me.
Yeah.
I moved from my apartment to my house. She came to visit me. She always comes to visit me. She's come to visit me like 5 times. Incredible friend. Where a lot of my friends haven't.
Yeah.
And she came and I was in the moving process. Every day we'd wake up, we would move from my apartment to the house. I had a lot of stuff in my apartment. I have never in my life, like by the end of it, when it was all done, I just looked at her and I said, no one has ever loved me the way that you loved me this week. Like, genuinely, I have never in my entire life ever seen someone so selfless, so kind. Like, I was stressed. I was probably sprouting off, I like saying all these things. Like, I remember like yelling at her, like, Stephanie, pick this up. Like, do this, do that. Like, the whole time, so kind, so nice, such a servant heart. Like I said, God is real and I've seen him in your life.
Yeah.
And that I think is literally the only time I've ever seen it. I think the only other person probably maybe been my mom.
Yeah.
Where it's so selfless that that God has to exist and God is real. Yeah. And I think sometimes it's like people say that they know you and that they love you and that they care about you.
But where are they?
And how much are they willing to be a servant, but also be served?
Yeah.
I serve Stephanie. Yeah. She serves me.
Yeah.
We have a beautiful friendship.
That's love.
That's real love.
It's giving and receiving.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think like we need more of that. Yeah. That's true religion right there. Yeah. Like caring for people.
Yeah.
I was at my lowest at that time you know, really at a low point in my life, she didn't judge me. She didn't condemn me. She was just there for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm so thankful. Like, I don't know if I ever have another friend like that. Like, I'm like, you've changed my life for the better. Like, for the better. I'll never be the same because of what you did for me. And so I think we need, as Christians, to walk that out with people in our lives when it's hard, when it's messy, when it's difficult, because that's when it really shows that you love them,
right,
and that you care for them. And then there's also boundaries.
Yeah.
And we have to be careful, because I think sometimes it's like there's people out there that are not good, that don't want good. Right. And like how you said, it's a two-way street. Yeah. If you're giving, and that was my problem as a minister, I have a lot of love. And so I always assume that other people all have a lot of love to give too. Yeah. I was wrong about that this year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Some people do not have love to give.
No. Very broken.
And they're
skewed.
Yeah. And I feel bad. You know, I feel bad, but you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, we have to have boundaries around friendships, all of it. I mean,
absolutely.
I won't get into it because we could do a whole nother thing, but even codependency and this, you know, like when we do have so much, but that's, Samuel, like just when I even hear you talking about your friend, like, amen for people that show up and reveal Christ to us in the simple, everyday things like moving, right? And the reality that you, like, it's so interesting. I had a shirt made and it says, seen, known, loved by Jesus. And I only say that not to sell shirts, but we were created to be seen.
Yeah.
We were created to be known, to be loved, to belong. Yeah. Right? And when we don't feel that from the Lord, we go on this hunt.
Absolutely.
Right? Whether it be the males to females to careers to whatever it is. And so like to really grow in that, like, God, you really know me.
Yeah.
You really see me.
Yeah.
You really are, you've always been and you'll never stop pursuing me. Like those are the longings of our heart that are meant to meet the longings of God's heart for us.
Yeah.
And when we try to find it in another human being, what about when that human being dies? Right? Yeah. Male or female.
And even in the midst of it,
right?
I literally was just talking to a guy. He's in a relationship with a man. He called me. I was doing a little film for my podcast. And he said, you know, I'm fully in this relationship and I feel so dissatisfied. Yeah. My boyfriend is great. Yeah. I love him. Yeah. You know, I care about him, but I need God. I need God. Yeah. And I want to do right before God. And so even you can be in the midst of it and still not be satisfied.
Let me go as far as to say, you can be in a heterosexual marriage.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
See, I think we sometimes lose this as a church. Yeah. Anytime we try to find our wholeness and fullness outside of Christ, we will, that no human being can do it. And we're tempted with that daily, no matter what struggles we have.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, it just reminds me, like, even Jesus in the book of Revelation saying, you've lost your first love.
Yeah.
My thing is, Samuel, we never knew our first love.
Yeah.
We met him. We're beginning to know him. And now that I believe, like what Paul talks about, this life of sanctification is letting no one or no thing take that place.
Absolutely.
Right?
I feel like I'm starting off fresh. You know, like I'm not the same person that I once was. The Lord is still dealing with me on so many different things. Yeah. But I'm healing from it and learning how to be better. I think that that's the only thing you can do. Like if people are watching this and they're thinking, oh my gosh, Samuel's story is so powerful and incredible and like he loves the Lord so much. No, there are moments where I don't love God and I choose myself instead. There are moments where I do love God and I do incredible things, you know. It's ups and downs. It's not to be idolized, our stories or even like our experiences. What is important is how much love we have for God and how much love we can have for each other. Yeah. With boundaries, you know. Right. And I think
and how much love, I think, to actually just add to that, how much love he has for us.
Yeah.
Because it says that we can only love because he first loved us.
Yeah.
So to receive that love, and then to be able to love with that very love him in return with his own love that he fills us with, and then love another.
And sometimes you need a person too.
We do.
You know, like
absolutely.
I think that's one of the mistakes that I made before in the past was I was so I loved God so much. I was always trying to do what God wanted me to do. Yeah. And just giving, and always as a servant, like giving. And I never took time to ask people to give back.
Yeah.
And there's been very few people in my life that have actually given back and have shown me like, I deserve that from people.
Yeah.
And I never thought I did, because I thought it was like, God will give that to me. No, like
he gives us people.
He gives us people, because God can't come down and hug you.
Right.
God can't come down and like let you cry on the shoulder. You know, God can't tell you everything's going to be okay through a voice like from heaven.
Or he knows we need to hear it and feel it tangibly, and so he shows up in another
Exactly. And I think like it's just goes back to that. It's like we love God, but we got to love each other well.
Yeah.
So I guess where I'm at like today in my life, I'm learning from the mistakes that I made last year. I'm learning what God actually wants from my ministry, and trying to figure out like how I can be faithful to him and pick myself up in my moments of weakness and in this trauma that he's like unfolding before me that I ignored for a long time. Like I didn't address it head on, and I kept it all inside, and I did everything that he wanted me to do. And now it's a new season of God just being like, you're going to address this. You're going to show it. I'm with you. And also your ministry on time on this earth, as far as I know what he's doing in my life, is you're going to share it with others.
Yeah.
I don't know, for some reason,
he wants me to you to do it through you.
I really feel strongly that God wants me to continue to share, continue to be honest. And that's all I can do, you know, and move from there. And I'm happy to live for him. Every day I have to choose him. Every day I struggle. It's hard, but the people in my life who love me well make it worth it. Jesus makes it worth it. The peace that I have to be able to rely on him when everything else fails is unsurpassable. There's no one that can compare to that. And so in a very different like transitional season of my life, but I'm excited for it. And I look at it as an opportunity where it's like, you know, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, I had a very different idea of what I thought God was going to do through me. And now I'm like changing all of that. I'm like, I have no idea.
Amen.
And I don't know. I don't have a 5-year plan anymore. I used to, like, I had goals and things and like things I wanted to accomplish. And now I'm like, I don't know what's coming, and I just have to trust him. And it's a new season of trust for me. And that's going to happen continually in all of our lives.
Because that's relationship.
Yeah.
Growing.
Yeah.
What do they say? If you're not growing, you're dying. Yep. Right? And so these deeper levels in it, deeper intimacy, deeper trust.
Yeah.
Like he's inviting us into that.
Yeah.
And Samuel, I can't help but share this part when like God wants to pick us up. He wants to. He says, will you let me? Like, we got to put our hand out.
Yeah.
Just
surrender.
Yeah. And I think so often we're trying to like pick ourselves up, or we're trying to.
Yes.
And he's like, actually, will you let me pick you up?
Yeah.
Because there has to be that permission.
Absolutely. Right? You know, I was sitting down with my mentor and I was talking to him, and he said, what is your times with the Lord look like? But I said to my mentor, honestly, it looks like pain and it looks like tears. All I have to give to God at this point in my life is pain and tears. That's all I got. And so my alone time with the Lord lately has just been tears of surrender. I have felt like I have nothing to give. I have nothing to show. There's no behavior. There's no like, I did this for the Lord. You should love me. Like, I've just been crying and been in pain. And I think it's like how you said, you just have to let him pick you up. You have to believe that he's going to pick you up through that. But yeah, you look at my life and you would never know that. Yeah. You would never know that I'm in that much pain and that I seem strong. I share my testimony, you know, like all these things I do online, you would never know, because the strength of the Lord has become my strength. And I think people need to hear that. Like, they need to know that, like, it's okay to not have anything, to not want to present something to God, but just come to yourself. Him as you are, just you. Even if it looks like tears and pain and not even a word. Like, I feel like Hannah. I'm like, I'm at the temple, just like, can't even talk, can't even cry. Like, I have no tears because I've cried so much that I'm like, I have nothing to say, God.
But here I am.
But here I am. That's all I got. You want it? You can have it. This is what I got, God.
Amen.
If you don't want me, I guess I'm just go to hell. No. Which is not true, but like, that's what most people think.
All he wants is us.
Yeah.
All he wants and all he's waiting for is the here I am.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, here I am in my brokenness. Here I am in this slight victory. Here I am in my weakness. Here I am. That's all I've ever wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. It's honestly pretty powerful. I know that the Lord is going to He's going to make all things. Like, when I look back and I share my testimony now, everything that I went through, he's used. The personal training, the stripping, the entertainment, how I did the cruise job, like all those things for me to like what I do today, but like in a sanctified way, in a righteous way.
And for him.
And for him now. And I'm like, if he did that before, what I'm going through now, he's also going to use. 100%. He's going to turn it for good. Like, he just gives us those little things. Like, I'm here. Yeah. Look, I'm here. Yeah. In the midst of your struggle and your sin and, like the things that you did wrong, I'm still here.
Not leaving you.
Yeah, and I love you. Yeah. I love you.
Amen. Samuel, thank you for being honest. Like, even with the recent pain, I think we do a big disservice to people when we don't get real.
Yeah.
So I just honor you.
Thank you.
Like, as a brother in Christ, as a friend, and I have no question. What you just said is true. God will use it all. He's used my pain, my tears, my offering of just, I don't have anything good, but I give you myself. And he's like, I will make it good.
Amen.
And so I have no question the same for your life. And I'm excited for in the seasons to come to hear how he continues as you continue to give yourself to him, just presenting yourself. Here I am, Lord. You can have all of me. Just the continued beauty, because I already see beauty, Samuel. I don't see perfection, because there's perfection in one place. Yeah. The more we give ourselves, the more beauty comes. And so I already respect you and have an honor for you.
Thank you.
And I know that God is going to do even more as you continue to just...
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I can hope for. Like, I know myself. I know the mistakes that I make. And I tell my mentor all the time, I'm like, I wish I could be perfect. Like, I wish I could have the best behavior. I wish I could say that I don't have moments where I'm weak and, and I struggle. I don't emphasize the struggle too much, because I think there are things that should not be said and ideas that should not be put in people's minds that come from the enemy. And that's the only reason why I don't. Yeah. There are things that also I just want to keep to myself. I share so much online.
Right.
A lot of lies. Yeah, I'm like, I want to keep this to me and to the people in my life. Yeah. And when the Lord tells me to share, I'll share. Yeah.
Amen. My thing, Samuel, for real, like, just keep your eyes so fixed on him.
Yeah.
I know you will.
No, it's literally I'm glad I'm at where I'm at today, because I had tried to run away. And he's
faster.
He put me in a corner. I can't run away. Yeah. I can't stop doing the things that he wants me to do. Even if I wanted to, I wouldn't be able to.
Well, I think you would be able to, but you wouldn't find what you were looking for.
It would be extreme disobedience, and it would be very apparent. I would have to lie to myself and really going out in a very...
When you've been woken up,
yeah,
it's hard to pretend like you're going to go back to sleep.
Yeah, definitely. And so I'm glad where I'm at today. I'm even with all the negative things and the things I experienced, like being a public figure and talking about these things, I'm like, you know what? There's a reason why God has me here. There's a reason why he's done this. And I didn't go looking for it. I never wanted it. But I'm here because he has a plan for this, and it's to keep me safe. And it's to keep me good, to finish out to the end. And that's what I want to do. I really want to finish out strong to the end. And I don't want to let bitterness set in my heart and all these things. And I understand now, when I look at other people's situations, why they walk away, why. And I feel bad because we judge so harshly that I'm like, I think when someone's at their lowest lows to do something like that, it's like I can't even put myself in that mindset, in that frame, because it's like I'm in no position to judge myself.
Right.
You know,
let alone someone else.
Someone else. Exactly. And so, but I understand, you know, this walk that me and you doing, and to encourage people out there who are like, can I do this? Yeah. Can I walk with the Lord? You can. God will give you the strength. He's given me the strength. He's given Kim the strength. He's given so many other people that we know the strength to do it. It's not impossible. Is it hard? Yes, it's hard.
Is it worth it?
It's so worth it.
Nothing else.
And there's so many beautiful blessings eternally.
There you go.
And also sometimes physically, which is awesome. Like, I'd love that verse where it says, not only will I bless you in the next life to come, but I'll bless you in this life to come 3 times over. Amen. And that's been the story of my life. Like, he's blessed me so much. I have incredible friends. I live in a place I never thought I would ever live. I'm so happy. Like, there are parts of my life that I'm like, I feel guilty, which is something I need to address with God internally. But I'm like, so much good in my life, so many things I can be thankful for, that I'm like, I don't deserve it, and yet he still gave it to me. And I want to encourage people out there that if you think it's just going to be all suffering, no, there's moments of goodness, you know, that, and I am such a weak person that if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Come on.
But you just got to be honest with God.
Amen.
And you gotta be willing to just spend that time with him and put in the work. And that's what matters.
Amen. Samuel, I love you, brother. I mean that. And I know I didn't show up with moving boxes, but if you move again,
you didn't need to.
Yeah. But I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for the Lord's love for you, and the way that you're loving him back and loving those around you, and continuing to be humble and saying, Lord, I need you.
Yeah.
I need you to even help me love people.
Yeah.
Right.
And I love you too. I feel like I haven't done a lot of podcasts. I think I've only done 2 podcasts where I've flown out. I've actually done stuff in person. That's it. I haven't gotten a lot of invitations, but I did this podcast with you because from the moment that I met you, I saw the light in you. I saw the love in you. I saw the people that you kept around you that also had the same light and love inside of them. And I couldn't not do it. I couldn't not be here. Something about your life and the way that you share, and those things don't matter, because I know you love the Lord. I know you have love in your heart, and that is all that matters, and that's all that God cares about. And at the end of the day, when we get to heaven, that's what he's going to highlight. And his character is going to shine. He's going to be judged. And like, I just had to come here and do this, and I wanted to honor you and just thank you for doing this and making a podcast. And I know it's going to help a ton of people.
Amen. I love you, Samuel.
I love you too.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen, man.